We're going to be talking about Coinbase dropping a pretty big XRP bombshell. Well, it's not that big, but it's still a good move in the right direction. I think that's how it is. Anyways, happy day after Easter. I hope you guys had a wonderful Easter. For those that don't celebrate, I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. Either way, to me, Easter is an American holiday, and we do it for the kids. We do it for the babes. Big shout out to our channel members, to Mr. D, to Mixing, to Mr. R, Gorgeous Julie, Mr. Gamer, and of course, Mr. John Germain. But we're going to be going through and talking about all the news that you guys might have missed over the week, and we're going to talk about the Coinbase XRP news. Plus, we've got some HBAR, Solana, Tron, crypto ETF, all kinds of different things that's happening. So we need to address it. We have to talk about it. Also, too, it looks like yesterday we got a really nice breakout with Bitcoin, which is outstanding, because we were in that really tight range between like 83 to about what? $86,000. We weren't able to close above $86,000, but we shot up right after that, which is amazing. It's also rumored that crypto is kind of decoupling from equities and stocks and all kinds of crap, even though gold broke all-time high. So we're going to go ahead and talk about it. Good morning to YouTube. Good morning to TikTok. Good morning to Twitch. Good morning to Rumble. All of you awesome people. Let's go ahead and get straight into it because we got to get going. I'm going to come back to this whole AI thing here in a bit. But big news today. Coinbase Derivatives prepares to launch XRP and Nano XRP futures on April 21st. The exchange filed with the CFTC to list two new futures contracts that we just named, the XRP futures and the Nano futures. Both contracts are expected to begin trading today, April 21st, following the self-certification files. So no update on those yet, but this is coming. And I don't see any reason why the CFTC would deny this, primarily because it's Coinbase that's filing it. And we also have some Coinbase drama that we're going to talk about soon. It's been, what they're doing over at Base is very interesting, but it's not surprising at all. I'm just surprised that it's coming from Coinbase. But let's go ahead and talk about the key points from this article from The Block on April 4th. Thank you so much to Mixing for keeping me organized because there's so many things happening. But basically, way earlier this month, early April, around the 4th, it was reported by The Block that Coinbase Derivatives filed with the CFTC to launch the XRP and XRP futures and XRP Nano futures. We're also seeing, I want to say it's Kraken and OKX that are also doing this. And again, OKCoin, which was OKX's product in America, is merging over to like OKX. And they are actually going to be doing more. They're going to be making trading available to US users a little bit differently than they were before. So if you have coins on OKCoin, make sure to, you should have gotten an email. You got to transfer those off or over or whatever it is you need to do. But we're seeing a lot of companies come back to the US and be able to actually operate in the US, and it's good. And the fact that XRP is being listed on Coinbase Derivatives, which is pretty big in my personal opinion. Plus, we do have to talk about all the ETFs that have been filed for crypto ETFs. That's going to bring a lot of volume in. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what contracts are and what makes them a little bit different from traditional just buying and selling trading XRP. So contracts are cash settled benchmarks to the market vector Coinbase XRP index. Standard contract is 10,000 XRP. Nano contract is 500 XRP. And the launch is expected on or after April 21st, which is today. So we should be getting some news on that, which is very exciting. And why is this exciting? Even though it's not that big of a deal. The reason why this is exciting, even though it's not going to move price up essentially, or it's not like as big as a hidden road news. But again, we're seeing little baby steps. We're essentially seeing seeds being planted for the future to sustain. Again, we're seeing all of these big announcements that are happening to, again, lay a solid foundation and get some nice price action in the future. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So this is good. This is telling me that Coinbase knows that is confident that the XRP lawsuit or the Ripple lawsuit will eventually be gone soon, and they can continue to list these types of products. Now, is this available to retail? No, it's not. And this is why it's so important that we make our voices heard and that we want to remove the accredited investor law, because it's stupid. It really is. And again, the biggest problem in America is not social issues, which yes, they'll always be there regardless. But again, it is a wealth gap. It is a wealth gap. And you know what? I was actually thinking about this too. I saw there's a lot of backlash happening with Coinbase right now and Base, which we'll get into and talk about, but there's a couple women that are upset about it. And I even said it was cringe what Jesse said. So basically he said, Base is for squirting, or Base is for, pimpin', or they're just kind of derogatory terms, which, you can get mad or what. To me, it was just cringe. It was just stupid. So there's a bunch of women in crypto now. They're like pissed. Like, this is why we don't have more women. And blah, 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 blah. Me personally, I don't think the problem in crypto is not having enough women. I think the problem in crypto is having such a wealth gap and so many ivory towers, so many people that come from money that enter crypto, which is fine, but they have no real sense of reality around them, what the real world looks like. They come from this like sheltered little bubble. And again, not mad at all, because it is what it is. But at the same time, you can still come from a sheltered bubble and have compassion for other people and not be self-centered and stuck up. So that's kind of my take on that whole thing. Like, I think that we just need to keep doing what we're doing. And again, I can speak on this topic myself because one of the few female content creators in the space, which I don't care, it is what it is. But at the same time, I've done very well for myself. I'm very blessed. I've onboarded a lot of other women, a lot of people from all different backgrounds, and that's what the name of the game is. But back to XRP. I think that there's been articles that have came out, and it was something we kind of talked about over the weekend, I think, or Friday, that XRP will eventually flip Ethereum's market cap. Do Ethereum and XRP, as far as fundamentals, are they really connected in that aspect? No. XRP is a banker's coin. XRP is a banker's coin. It's got its whole ecosystem for P2P payments, for facilitating transactions, providing different types of services to traditional finance, which isn't a bad thing. Isn't a bad thing any way, shape, or form. If anything, that's how you do get adoption, because everybody needs access to money, and Ripple figured out how to successfully do that, and they're on the continued path to do that. Ethereum is for building, it's for NFTs, it's for smart contracts, it's for DeFi, it's for a lot of other things. So when we're talking about comparing Ethereum to XRP, you really can't do it. They do different things. You can kind of compare Ethereum to Bitcoin in some aspects, not all aspects. But again, kind of depends, kind of depends. We're actually going to talk about Ethereum and Solana a little bit because there's some mess happening. But to really talk about XRP versus Ethereum, you can't really do that because, in my personal opinion, they don't stack up fundamentally. Will XRP probably flip Ethereum? Yeah. Because of all the different partnerships they have, the consistent building, announcements like this. And, XRP's got a massive retail audience, Also, too, make sure you guys smash the like. Likes are free. You can go ahead and do that. Now, let's get into the next story. And this is XRP related to an extent. So, actually, this right here. The reason why it's so big that XRP is getting their futures on Coinbase derivatives is partially because of this story over here. Crypto giants Circle and Coinbase reportedly eye U.S. banking licenses amid regulatory thaw. So even though Ripple is not on this list, and people like John Deaton, a few others are kind of like, why isn't Ripple on this list? Shouldn't they be applying for our banking licenses? Ripple has so many different licenses that they have essentially applied for in America. First and foremost, they need to get the SEC lawsuit over. And also, too, I feel like the Hidden Road News, the acquisition for $1.25 billion, contingent on regulatory approval, is a lot more massive for Ripple than this story, because they're going to be able to provide services to these crypto giants, Circle, Coinbase, BitGo, Paxos, whatever that may be. So that Hidden Road acquisition kind of gives them a little bit of a step in. And for example, like if you want to buy a bar, I'm going to be segueing this into licenses. If you want to buy or open a bar in California, it's actually easier to purchase a bar that has licenses, so you don't have to apply on your own, because they're very expensive, they take time, etc. So by Ripple acquiring Hidden Road for $1.25 billion pending regulatory approval, that might be their license. That might be their way in to provide services to these guys. Because again, this is going to be very expensive and costly, and we're still essentially figuring out regulations. But this story here, and also too, even though Ripple is like kind of a TradFi crypto company, it's still a crypto company. They have a coin. It's a little bit different. Like Coinbase doesn't really have a coin. BitGo doesn't have a coin. Paxos had stablecoins, and Circle has stablecoins. It's a little bit different. Ripple has RLUSD, and it does have XRP. So these firms are preparing to apply for traditional U.S. banking licenses. Some seek national trust or industrial bank charters. Others aim for stablecoin and custody-focused license. This could lead to closer integration between crypto firms and TradFi. And of course, John Deaton said that he did say that he's surprised Ripple is on that list. I'm not super surprised. The reason why is because I think number one, they got to wait for the SEC lawsuit to over, and number two, I want to actually see the Hidden Road acquisition go through and get approved and see what they're able to do and what they can't do under that, because it might be a little bit easier for them to do that. And also, too, while we're talking about stablecoin giant Circle, they're launching a new payment and remittance network, which again, I think that USDC will be the CBDC in the United States of America. That's just my personal opinion. But again, we're seeing adoption come closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And I think that the markets will respond eventually. They're just not ready to do so. Now, some really quick news with Jay Clayton. If you guys don't remember, Jay Clayton was the one that filed the lawsuit against Ripple on December 22nd, 2020. And it was the last day in office before he stepped down. But he was appointed by Mr. Trump as the interim U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, which I think is interesting. And I also think it's interesting that he applied, number one, that he's taking over that job. And he was also the one that filed the lawsuit against Ripple. And remember the Clayton emails, all that stuff. They wanted Ripple when they were actively fighting in battle against the SEC. They really wanted to see what those emails were to essentially help determine what case law is. And isn't that so crazy? Isn't that so crazy that you actually had to subpoena for Depo those emails to determine if something is a security or not, just because the government entity that is suing you didn't have any type of guidelines as to how or what was a security and what wasn't a security? What are we doing here? That's crazy. If you really think about the history of Ripple and the history of the crypto industry and the unjust attacks from the SEC and the CFTC and all those things, isn't that crazy that you actually had to fight for you had to subpoena and fight to see old emails of personal opinion of these unelected bureaucrats to determine in court, to fight in court? That's crazy. Again, I had somebody come on the show many, many years ago, and they said the way the SEC is operating is if you are driving, 5 years later, they put a stop sign in, and the stop sign wasn't there when you're driving, and then they send you a ticket 5 years later for running that stop sign. That's how the SEC used to operate, which is freaking crazy, okay? Which is crazy. I know. But it is what it is. So that's the Ripple news, and it's pretty exciting. But let's go ahead and check price of the entire crypto market. That is going to be important because it looks like things are doing pretty good, and that's good. It has been a ride for Ripple, and it's a very interesting time right now. So this is the weekly. Tau, Core, Stacks, Hype is up. We have a story about Hype as well. Taking a look at the daily, Stacks is up. I wonder if there's an announcement with that. But I believe they allow you to build on Bitcoin. It's been a while since we talked about them. I think I hosted a conference for them before. I don't remember. I do lots of things all the time. Now let's go ahead and get into the charts over here. Again, if you guys want to sign up and use my FEMX ref link, that would be great. You get like $20 for signing up. In addition to that, not your keys, not your coins. You need to read the terms of services, and anyone can sign up from anywhere. Why did it do that? I don't like that it did that. Here we go. Okay. I don't want that. I want to get that. Ugh. God, I forgot how I did that. It's annoying. I hate when I screw around with these things because it just gets really annoying. Okay. That's not supposed to be there. Anyways, I will deal with it later. But we take a look at MarketCypher printed that green dot down here, but really on the weekly is pretty impressive what I wanted to show you. This is something we've been talking about for a while, is that green dot that was printed at the very, very bottom of MarketCypher. And the reason why that matters is because it did indicate a local bottom. It indicated a local bottom, and that's good. We want to see that. Eron Filmic says Sims. Well, I mean, I don't know. This is why we have a stupid gender stuff. Don't be dumb. This is what you sound like. This is what I think you look like when you type that. Like this. Like that. You know? It's weird. Don't do that. Anyways, thank you for being here. Make sure to smash the like, something, do something productive with your time. Anyways, so it was really cool because CryptoFace had posted something like, I called the bottom, and technically you did because his indicator did call the local bottom. And I did say, pay attention to this because we might get a move up. And this actually took place, I think, last week or the week before. And that was the local bottom was at about $78,000 on whatchamacallit, on the weekly. So again, to kind of recap what we saw in the weekly, we opened here at about $83,000. We closed at 85. We weren't able to get back above 86,000, which is the important area because we have the weekly open and close here for the week of 317 and also 324. But today we did actually shoot up to $88,000, and we are trading a little bit above the resistance area at about like 84. Now, taking a look at the daily, we need to get that close. We need to get that close above 86,000. We are getting a bit of a retrace though. Now, taking a look at the 4-hour chart, we are just kind of ping-ponging here. We are a little bit high. We are looking a little bit overbought. So hopefully we are able to hold, but it does look a little bit high. So I would be cautious, and I hope this isn't a fake out. I really, really hope it's not, because it's going to bring the entire crypto market down with it. Now, taking a look at Ethereum was doing well. Actually, it wasn't doing well. It wasn't. Well, we did get that move up to about 1652, but nothing too terribly great. We're just kind of consolidating above 1532 over here. I'm going to remove these. We're going to do a brand new consolidation area. Why? Because I can. Ethereum is just going between 1693 to about 1498. And we need to get some movement here. We're also going to talk about some of the things going on with Ethereum and why it might not rebound, which sucks because I own a lot of Ethereum, but you know what? That's life. That's what happens. Now, taking a look at Solana, we had a move up and then a move back down. It looks like we will fall back and consolidate between 126 and about 134. Again, we have to kind of see what's going to happen with announcements economically and geopolitically. Now, taking a look at SUI, just going sideways. XRP just kind of consolidating above $2.07, which is great. I love that. So that's showing me some really nice strength. Link had a nice move up, but now we're back at support here at $12.92. Cardano's at 62 cents, just consolidation between 67 and about 58. Aave over here, just same thing. HBAR has been holding steady. So that's kind of what's going on with the market. We're just kind of really staying stagnant. We're at very important support and really support areas we're holding on to. And again, if Bitcoin tanks, everything else is going to tank too. That's just kind of what happens. But at the same time, for the short-term traders out there, you guys are doing great, right? You guys are doing great. You're taking profit. You're doing all these things. Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah, we don't know. We're just here. Anyways. I bet you guys didn't know, but Lowe's on spring break right now. She's behaving herself. I'm surprised. She's probably doing something she's not supposed to do. Well, that's okay. We'll give her a break. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this over here. This was a post from this gentleman, Mark, big HBAR guy. But it looks like HBAR beats XRP in key metrics as HBAR price eyes upswing. And this is from On-Chain Dealer, all these guys. I don't really know these people too well, but this comes from an article over here. Either way, I kind of want to segue to this story when we're talking about AI. This is from Bill Gates. Bill Gates says that within a decade, AI will advance to the point where humans are no longer needed for most tasks. We can get into talk about all the crazy AI stuff. I'll probably have to do it on another platform. But when we're talking about AI, like, it makes me a little bit nervous because I do essentially see this happening. AI is advancing really, 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 really fast. So, of course, I have to reference Hotep Jesus because he's a lot smarter than I am on these types of things. But really, when we're talking about AI can provide good opportunities. If you're smart enough, if you can critically think, then you can actually use AI to manage tasks for you and to make your work more efficient, so you can spend time doing other things. I know Bill Gates, so I do think that what he says is true. I think good things about AI and bad things about AI, but at the same time, when we're talking about it, it's coming whether we like it or not. So if we don't learn to embrace change in technology, we're going to get left behind. So the reason why we talk about HBAR quite often, the reason why we're partnered with them, just the reason in general is any crypto project right now that is made in America. Thank you, Julie, so much for the $9.99 super chat. We're gonna go get I owe you dinner or something, Julie. But me and Lo, I don't know what we're gonna do today. We might do the mall, we might do the thrift store. She's gonna get mad if we go to the thrift store, but we're definitely gonna get a sweet treat. So thank you so much. I hope you and your babies are having a good time too. But again, I would highly recommend you guys start researching and educating yourself on made in the USA projects that are focusing on DePIN, RWA, DeFi. What was the other one? AI, DeFi. Really tired today. My mind is like not here. AI, DeFi, RWAs. Yeah. Woo! Woo! That's what I focus on. And Hedera hits all the box for that. There's projects like Ondo, Chainlink, all kinds of stuff. So things that are made in the US, great, fine, fantastic. Maybe focus on other things. I don't think, is Polkadot made in the US? I'm not sure if it is or not. I always forget. I have to go. Anyways, the list is on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. You can go ahead and see. XRP will crash bad. I don't think it will. I think it will end up flipping Ethereum, even though I'm an Ethereum bag holder. So how about that? Anyways, that's what's going on with Bill Gates. So I wanted to kind of just drop that really quick. Now let's go and talk about Michael Saylor. So MicroStrategy, Strategy, they acquired 6,556 Bitcoin, and their average buying price is 84,000. And one of the things I want to say about this, they hold 538,200 Bitcoin. They own more than 2.7% of the supply. They own more than 2.7% of the supply of Bitcoin. That is scary to me. That is very, very scary to me. Why is it scary? Why is that scary? Well, it's scary because we're talking about a finite asset. And we're talking about an entity that is buying large amounts of Bitcoin. Oh, Lawrence, thank you so much. Wendy's chocolate fun, even though she probably doesn't eat. I do eat chocolate. I do. I actually had a Cadbury egg yesterday for Easter, but I do. I've been eating a little bit more chocolate lately. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. For sure, Lo loves it. So we will definitely, she'll be getting a sweet treat today. So I'm going to tell her Mr. Lawrence and Auntie Julie sent that over. But thank you guys. I greatly appreciate it, dude. And Julie, I owe you something. I owe you things. But as far as Michael Saylor goes, it just makes me worrisome that we have this guy that is using debt to acquire Bitcoin, which is a finite asset, and it just keeps buying and buying and buying and buying. And it should make you nervous too, because if they get wrecked or they get liquidated or whatever it is they're doing, it could actually crash the market. It could be pretty bad. So happy for him. But again, not only do we have people like Michael Saylor, we have a lot of other corporations. We do have governments that are interested in acquiring Bitcoin. So if you are not acquiring Bitcoin, you should maybe take a step back and consider doing so. You should do that. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to. But it's a little bit worrisome. He owes 2.7% of the supply. Now, this one's some good news. Well, I think we're going to talk about Ethereum right now. Okay. So I don't know this person over here, but I like this tweet. So they said, my hot take is that Ethereum's problems are only 25% of what people are making them out to be. In reality, Saylor is keeping Bitcoin up, creating a negative feedback loop related to ETH, Bitcoin, etc. If when Ethereum gets a Saylor, problems are magically solved. So I want to talk about this a little bit, okay? First and foremost, Ethereum has an unlimited supply. Okay. As of right now, has a limited supply. Ethereum does have problems. It does have massive problems, and we're going to talk about those problems in a little bit. However, I do think it is important to note what he's saying at the very bottom. If and when Ethereum gets a Saylor, problems are magically solved. To an extent, yes. But again, Ethereum has more of a larger supply. Bitcoin does not have a larger supply. Bitcoin is being discussed to be added to a Bitcoin to its own strategic reserve on a national level. Like people are a global level. Different countries want to do this. Different states, different areas want to do this. Ethereum, this is not being discussed. So it's a little bit different when we talk about that. But if Ethereum does get a Saylor, or somebody keeps buying it, I agree. It's going to help with price a lot. And I do think that once we get the Ethereum staking ETF, that's also going to help. However, Ethereum does have its own problem. So I agree with half of this. Either way, I thought it was an interesting take. Now let's go ahead and listen to this little quote tweety over here from Mr. Michael Saylor from The Block. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and put our earphones on. You guys know me. I have to have my playback speed at 1.5 because my ADHD. Yeah, actually gas fees are super low, dude. Gas fees are super low. I paid like 10 cents the other day. I loved it. I was happy. Queen is a strategy. She said, go off.
I'm showing you how to build a 100-story building using steel. To equate Ethereum and Solana to Bitcoin is like equating balsa wood and clay bricks to steel. The reason it works is because I'm putting leverage on steel. I'm actually using a product which doesn't deflect. That's why you can lean on it with $10 billion of leverage or $100 billion of leverage. Pick your favorite token. If you do the same thing, you're going to find it will buckle at some point. And when it buckles, there's going to be catastrophe. It oftentimes happens in nature that there is one best answer. And I would advise that if you want to build a different city, don't innovate in the dimension of steel. Keep the steel, pick a different way to innovate. Maybe make the boulevards wider or something like that.
Okay, so this is the thing. I understand that corporations love to spend money. They love to like take debt out and spend money, and then they like to tell us poor people, that we need to do the same. And I get it. I get his strategy. And again, it's not his money he's using; it's his company's money. So I get what he's saying, but he is right. You really can't compare Solana and Ethereum to Bitcoin. But again, I still think it's very dangerous what he's doing, and nothing lasts forever, and things do implode. That's just me. Thank you so much to Mick for the $5 super chat. Evening from UK Wendy, get low an Easter egg. I will tell her. She's going to be so excited. Shout out to DC fan, and also to you guys. Like, I don't like to refer to you guys as subscribers or fans or any of that type of stuff, because to me that's weird. But because she watches so many YouTube things, like on YouTube Kids, she says, "Oh, mommy, those are your fans," or those types of things. And I tell her, no, they support mommy, they watch mommy, and they're just really good people that want to self-educate themselves. So I tried to like merge, like I'm trying to help it's like a weird thing, because I don't want her to just trust strangers, but at the same time I want to let her know you guys are not like the word whatever. But anyway, she's gonna really appreciate it. She's gonna be super excited. She's such a sweetheart, and she's being really good today, but again, I think she's being really bad. She's probably on her phone and she's not supposed to. But thank you guys, she will definitely appreciate it. We're gonna go do something fun today. WendyO's loyal. How about I call you guys my homeboys? How about I call you guys my homeboys? I like that, because I just don't want, I think it's cringe. Like, I do a lot of cringe things, but there's certain things I think are super cringe, Make sure y'all smash the like. That supports me too. Now, let's get into this story. All right. This is from Mr. Tom Lee. Tom Lee, now that the deleveraging is done, I think that Bitcoin is going to catch up with gold. People got too excited about Bitcoin's pump. Okay. Let me show you why. This is Bitcoin. We hit $88,000, and now we're trading back at $86,000. So people got a little bit too excited, but that's okay. It's okay to be excited. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be excited. It's okay to be ridiculously bullish. But let's go ahead and listen to this clip by Mr. Tom Jones on, what is he on? He's on CNBC, and they're talking about the tariffs, all kinds of stuff. But let's see what he's got to say.
As well. For more on this, I'm already talking to you, and I haven't introduced you.
He said Bitcoin is up about 3.5% as well. Gold hit another all-time high.
Bringing Tom Lee, head of research at Fundstrat, chief investment officer at Fundstrat Capital, as well as a CNBC contributor. And I don't remember whether it was you or Pump when we were talking about Bitcoin sort of stuck under 85,000 with gold going up every day. And it was either you or Pump that said Bitcoin usually follows a couple of months later, but has a much bigger move.
Remember the 150-day thing that after gold, generally Bitcoin moves. So yeah, they're correct about that. But again, I still think that we're a little bit early. We need to see some bullish closes. I'm just a little bit like cautious, I'm just a little bit cautious. That's all.
That was probably Pump.
Yeah. He's pretty bullish.
Yes.
Have you noticed anything similar to that? I mean, that's a pretty big move. And in the past, gold's been leaving in the past near term, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, this year maybe. We have seen gold leave Bitcoin in the dust and go to new highs. Looks like it'll do 4,000 easily, right? Do you think Bitcoin eventually catches some of the same money, the same bid?
Yeah, I think Bitcoin earlier this year may have been struggling with some of the deleveraging that was happening for institutional investors.
Just selling what they could.
Yeah, selling what they could, and I think that suppressed Bitcoin, especially over the weekend.
And he repeated what we had talked about, and what Dame had reaffirmed, my financial advisor, is that people that got into the Bitcoin spot ETF positions, they were in profit and they had to sell the profit, and that was essentially suppressing price.
But now that deleveraging is done,
he said that deleveraging is now done. People are kind of done taking profits, and
I think that Bitcoin is going to catch up to gold. And Bitcoin's old high was over 110,000. So I think there is a lot of room to catch up as a sort of non-dollar asset.
As for the equity markets, you think stocks are attractive, but
don't open it. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Bitcoin up.
struggling. Bitcoin's old high was over 110,000. So I think there is a lot of room to catch up as a sort of non-dollar asset.
As for the equity markets, you think stocks are attractive, but uncertainty is still the name of the game, and it's going to persist. So you think the high in the VIX, what did you say that was on April 7th, that holds?
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to match that level of fear again. So I think we're probably past peak uncertainty. I mean, even with this Fed controversy.
All right, sorry guys, that was my sister. She had come and low ran to the door. I was like, don't open the door. That's what happens when you have kids. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So now let's kind of go back over what Mr. Tom Lee was saying. Not Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, okay? Not a music man, but Tom Lee, okay? So basically, he's just saying that Bitcoin's going to do its own thing. It's going to be, it's going to go back up again, and everything's going to be fine. So, I will. Oh, Julie, this is the Christian sister. She got the one that blasts Christian music, and I wonder if she did today. I'm sure I'll hear it soon. And she's also autistic too. I'll tell her you guys could go to church together. So there's that. There's that piece of information there. So basically what Tom Lee is saying that Bitcoin is starting to actually move up. People are done taking profit with the Bitcoin spot ETFs. We've got people like Michael Saylor that are companies that are buying Bitcoin, and it is going to end up catching to gold. And I do think that I do think that he's correct here. I think it's going to take times. And I understand that this market is a lot different than other bull markets. And the reason why it is because we actually have like crypto is pretty much mainstream now. There's a lot of people that are talking about it. We're going to get regulation. We're going to get guidelines. We're going to get all these things done, which is fantastic, wonderful. So again, we're laying all of the pots. We're laying down all the stepping stones. We're laying down the foundation. And then things are going to end up taking off, which I think is absolutely wonderful, absolutely fantastic. There's a couple other things I want to talk about. I'm going to get these for you. So for the Canary Capital files for first Tron spot ETF with staking rewards. This is something I wanted to talk to you guys about last week. It happened on the 18th. The thing that's really, really important here to remember, Mike Jones, maybe, but the thing that's really important here to remember, hey, sister, hey, where's your auntie? What is she doing? She just standing in the kitchen? Oh, so she wasn't in the kitchen. She was in the bathroom? Okay, tell her to open the door and come here, but don't say her name, and then tell little nephew he can't come in. They wanted to say hi to you. Don't come on the camera though. She said hi. Just don't let little guy come in. Okay. She said hi. Anyways. She did. I had a conversation. Her autism is so bad. Like, we had a conversation this morning, and she's telling me to drop my kid off. Because I had asked her what she's into. I want to see if we want to bring the kids together, go do stuff. And then she's like, well, I have to go do whatever. Bring her over. I was like, no, I can't do that. And then, like, she just comes over unannounced. It's just like a hot mess. There's like communication is very hard. But when she was younger, she was like a little bit nonverbal, but not like just because she didn't want to talk to people. So I'd be able to read her mind and stuff. But now we're just like, anyways, let's get back to the new. No, the big booty sister is sleeping probably. She's looking for a job because she works in healthcare. This is a little booty sister, but this is a tall sister. She's, hey, auntie. She's like 5'4" or 5'5". I'm 5'1". She's the tall sister. She's not the big booty one. She's the tall, thin one. Anyways, really quickly. So, all right. There's lots of things I want to tell you guys over here. Well, we'll talk about I'll do a second video for you guys talking about the Ethereum versus Solana drama. That'll be good. But really quick, this is what's going on with Coinbase right now, some of the drama. So they've been shilling like freaking crazy over on Base, and apparently Zora, which is their social media platform, the Base one, not the Coinbase one. And I think that's how Coinbase actually gets to, well, this guy's part of Abstract Chain, which makes sense why he's trashing Zora. But Zora's Coinbase has Base. There was no token affiliated with it. However, they did eventually launch a token, but that kind of allowed Coinbase to get into like the altcoin space or crypto space, really outside of being an exchange. But this guy Jesse's kind of gone off the rails a little bit. And now the reason why they've been doing all this cringe marketing and all this cringe like pimping and squirting and all kinds of stuff is because Zoro, the social media platform for them, which anytime you post, you coin something, which I'm not on it. They need to pay me to be on it because it's not really worth my time to be on any other social media apps. But they're going to be dropping a token on April 23rd with all of the snapshot and stuff. So also too, this is from Mr. Jesse. This happened over the weekend, but he's basically here apologizing for some of the things that he said, basis for pimping, like all kinds of stuff. And it's very interesting. Their marketing strategy, it's just completely out of touch. It's really out of touch. It's really cringe. They're talking about bringing everybody on chain. But the issue with bringing everyone on chain is that nobody I know uses Base outside of people on X. Maybe some of you guys do on YouTube, but TikTok, you guys can even comment too. Are you guys using Base? Nobody's really using Base. That's the thing. So they're talking about bringing all these people on chain, but are they really going to be able to? Like, I don't know anybody. I don't know any non-crypto, all the Web 2 crypto influence or all the Web 2 influencers, they are not going to leave Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, YouTube or TikTok or all their large audiences and start posting on another app. They're not going to do it. We actually have to hire people to do that because it's very time consuming. So the fact that they think by saying essentially derogatory things towards women is going to help bring mass adoption, it's not going to. Then they started talking about doing like an OF is kind of thing, which is funny because if you're an OF creator or you're SW, you get debanked by you get removed from Coinbase. So it's just there's a lot of controversy. It's a lot of just bizarre behavior. I don't like it. Yeah, no, Julie says it too, because Julie's more in the trenches than me. Yeah, and thank you, Alpha Junkie. You're right. They're going to learn from us in Web3 looking at our Web2 posts. They're not going to go use Base. Like, I'm going to tell you all right now, unless you're paying me to use another social media platform or you're helping me, you're boosting, you're doing something, it is work. SW is work. I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to participate in it, but it is work. But my point is, Coinbase has always been one of the upper echelon companies in crypto. They don't do crypto YouTube interviews. They don't really put themselves out there. They're more the ivory tower people, which is fine. That's their business. But now you want to act cringe to be relatable to people because you're trying to onboard these people. And now you want to make like an OF type of platform. Zora is not that, but it could be if you wanted to. They want to make things like decentralized. When Coinbase does a lot of debanking or a lot of terrible customer service, they don't support all the withdrawals. A lot of issues here. What does that happen? What happens with that? That's my issue. So again, it's like practice what you preach. Like keep it consistent. Keep it very consistent. Also, too. A lot of SWs use Bitcoin because they were debanked by PayPal, their banks, and all the other platforms, all the other TradFi industries. Just saying. Anyways, what else? Is there anything else? Okay. I want to leave. I don't even want to talk about the tariffs because it's just dumb right now. Okay. I want to leave you guys with this. Ooh, Coinable focuses on women reproductive issues. It could, I guess. I don't know. It could, I guess. Oh, we have, I can't see, 619 people here. I know. It's like, just keep it consistent. Like, keep it consistent. If you want to be a shock jock, be a shock jock. If you want to be an ivory tower, be an ivory tower. But don't rebrand because you're trying to onboard users, okay? Because that's ghetto behavior. We can see right through that behavior. Be yourself. Be yourself, okay? We can see. Or hire me. I will help consult market for you, okay? And I'll help you. Anyways, I want to leave you guys with this. There are now 72 crypto-related ETFs sitting with the SEC awaiting approval to list or list options. Everything from XRP, Litecoin, Solana, Penguins, Doge, 2x Melania, and everything in between. Gonna be a wild year. Great roundup. I absolutely love this. And this is a list from Mr. Jeff H.S. Great guy, great guy. The reason why I want to leave this with you, exactly, be yourself. The reason why I want to leave this with you is because there's 72 crypto ETFs. It has been estimated that each crypto ETF has a potential to bring in $8 billion each to the market. What is 72 times 8? I don't know. You guys can do the math for me. Moral of the story is the framework has been laid out. The foundation has been laid out, okay? Continue to be patient. Shout out to Vet. We love Vet. We love what Sunny's doing. Continue to be patient. Continue to protect your capital. Continue to use disposable income where you see fit. Practice risk management and just continue to be patient, because this bull run is a lot different than many other bull runs, in my personal opinion. And I think that it will end up paying off. And on that note, I'm going to go give hugs to everyone. No, not 8 trillion, 8 billion. $8 billion. Oh, is it? It's $8 trillion? What's 576? What is, I'm going to do the math, okay? So 8 times 7, what did we say? 72? Oh yeah, $576 billion. Thank you. So it could be $576 billion coming to the market. So just think about that. And they're going to keep applying for more and more ETFs and different types of variations. But anyways, I got to do my TikTok content. I got to do a couple other things and got to go take the kids to the mall. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. Thank you all for the super chats. You guys have a great rest of your day. Sending you love and light. Bye.